Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Let me ask you, do you think Nintendo needs a second console? I think they do, right? And I've said this before, but I want to talk about something that would be in the realms of possibilities. We can't talk about fantasies. The company has shown that they're not willing to make or invest very much in long term hardware, right? And they want right now just specifically just to support the Switch too. I am a Nintendo investor. I own stock in the company. I want them to do well. They're having certain challenges right now. But as we've seen in the past, any of these video game companies, doesn't matter what video game company you're talking about, your one bad launch or two bad launches of hardware of just being gone. Look at what's happening to Xbox as we speak. If Xbox wasn't owned by Microsoft, they would have been gone a long time ago, guys. They would have been gone a long time ago. They would be just like Sega. Now, the only company that has weathered those kind of storms successfully has been Nintendo. And the primary reason why they were able to weather those storms was not only their IPs, but the fact that they had a secondary piece of hardware. Whether you're talking about the Game Boy, the DS, right? And the Game Boy, when they were losing the war with Sega, that really was the stop holder until they released the Super NES. This actually helped them weather the storm. The 3DS and 2DS series. I love my 2DS, guys. I love this dual screen form factor. It helped them weather the storm of the Wii U era. And I've talked about this before, but I want to go a little bit deeper into it because we have to talk about realistic possibilities, right? And Nintendo right now wants to go digital, right? As much as we love physical media, as much as I own Nintendo products and everything else, I have to be a realist. And the reality is that today's business market, that today's gamers don't really care much for cards. It's us Gen X gamers, it's the older generation that love, using this stuff. But if you look at today's kids, they don't own any cards. Everything's on their cell phone, on their tablets, and you have to be thinking forward, right? And the money is going to be, for a lot of investors, for a lot of capital, for a lot of business analysts, I could tell you, they're going to be software, software, software. The more hardware you make, the more chances you have of having higher liabilities and, reducing profitability, right? The problem with that business model is that you have no backup plan. You have none, right? And this is what it really has kept Nintendo healthy over the years. And they don't have that backup plan now. Now, they could only be two things, guys. One of them would be cell phones, which, many gamers, like me, would not look forward to playing. Even though I play some cell phone games, they're very few and far between. Once in a while, I'll play something for a while and then I'll leave it alone. I'm primarily a console gamer, right? But for Nintendo to rely just specifically on the mobile phone market, I think at this point it would be a mistake because even though they're big in physical media and everywhere else, as far as phone sales, they're not. They don't have a lot of properties out there, right? You can't say, oh, I play all my Nintendo games on cell phone, right? They don't have that kind of reach. They don't have that kind of market. Could they make a digital DS? Of course they could. The problem is, would you buy it or not, right? Because most of the users of these, and they're getting more popular, they're getting more expensive as we talked about before. The question is, would you buy it, right? Would I buy it? Would I support it? I want to say the answer is yes. If it falls along a certain price, these right now are already $200. So I think that's the threshold right there. Could you make a portable Nintendo product like this? Maybe offer some new features. I don't know. Maybe you could watch Netflix on it. Whatever, whatever. Upgrade the hardware. Would you pay for it? Even if some of you who are physical collectors like me, even though maybe you wouldn't, I think it would be a smart idea to start developing that product. I have another idea for another product, but that's going to be a separate video. I don't want to mix it up with this one. Actually, I have two, but those will be separate videos. And I think, right, I think that a lot of people that are nostalgic for this product, that used it as teenagers, I think they would. I think that even though they, most people own a cell phone, this is a small enough factor that they wouldn't mind it carrying it around. Maybe it could have some dual support, with some Switch games, and it could also have its own proprietary games. I think that if I was running Nintendo, even though I would have a lot of blowback from the new regime, right? From that regime that is saying software. We only have one platform. This is what we're pushing. And again, it's been very successful. We're not going to say it hasn't been successful. But if you only have that one product that you're developing and then you're walking away from mini consoles, right? Because we're not getting the mini Nintendo 64 anytime soon. Other people are making it. And this is the thing, guys. You can see the gamers are craving this stuff, right? We're having independent companies make the replicas of the N64. We're having independent companies make 2DSs for, $1,000 or whatever they're going to make it, and they're selling out within minutes. Neo, right? They did that Kickstarter. So there's clearly a hunger for these type of products in the market. Nintendo hasn't jumped in. And I think to the detriment of Nintendo, because they don't have to make it a big launch, right? They already have the molds, right? You could actually use the same mold, right? If you want to add a couple, nobody wants a stylus. You could take that out, make it cheaper. You're not going to have the card anymore. You can make it cheaper, right? There's something there, right? There's something there, or else people wouldn't be reacting the way they are to the DS currently in the current market. They wouldn't be reacting to these new products out there that are clearly made to take away sales from Nintendo products. Is people are going to emulate it. That's what they're doing. If you can get this, right? If you could get a digital one, maybe with some games or even a service that you pay for, how much would you be willing to pay for that service? $20 a month for, all the legacy games and plus whatever you purchase. Whatever. There's a revenue stream there, guys, and they should be able to diversify. I'm really afraid of Nintendo just following the strict corporate mantras that they have now. This culture of profit first that has been implemented in the company. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to take the company into good places. Now, I'm not saying that anything's going to happen to Nintendo, this year or next year. But thinking long term, right? If people get tired of the Switch, what else are you going to do, right? If people get tired, I already have a Switch too, right? I already have a Switch. Like me, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything on the Switch 2 that I would, that I want to play that I can't live with. Right? Nothing has impressed me. But if they would put out something like this, and I would have access to the old library, if they put a cartridge on it, even better, right? If it's compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges, whatever they can make. But I think realistically speaking, guys, they don't want to do that. They want to go strictly to a digital model as soon as they can. That's why we have these, codes in a box, right, from Tommy Tallarico, where those game cartridges without the game in them, that's really what they want to do, and everything's pointing to that. But I think this product would be a great release for them if they're not willing to do cartridges anymore. You guys tell me, what do you guys think? Would you buy a digital DS? Would you buy a DS product if they re-released it, whether it had cartridges or not? Would you be into it? Me, as a Nintendo fan, I could tell you I would support it, right? What would be my price point? $200, $250, around there, right? That would be my preference with a pack-in game, but people don't do pack-in games anymore, so who knows? All right, humans, you guys let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you're a member, guys, I put another video there. There's over 100 videos now on the member. If you need extra content, if you're really cool, you can join the channel for 99 cents, or if you just want to buy coffee and pick a topic, go ahead and do so. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.